My name is Paul Burry, and I'm with Family Friendly Gaming. And this is FFG Chronicles. FFG Chronicles is about Gamersgate. And this is the first time in the video format we've actually discussed Gamersgate. We've written articles on the website and some of the red news stories. And before I go too much deeper into it, I want to thank all y'all for your likes, your subscriptions, your donations, your family-friendly comments. Remember, keep it safe and family-friendly. I know there can be some content related to Gamersgate that gets kind of adult. I'll do my best to kind of keep it as family-friendly as possible and reference it. For those that don't know what happened, and first off, before I even get into kind of what happened in the whole Gamersgate issue that's been going on for a while, it actually technically has been going on for a long time. Just recently, within the last few years, some stuff has come out. But I've talked to people in the gaming media for a long time, and the people in the video game companies, and I think we've discussed this in other videos, the PR, the marketing, they look at the gaming media as an outlet of their marketing. So they don't really see us as unbiased. They don't see us as having different opinions on things. They're there to make money, and they want to try to use us to make money. Now, they don't pay us, generally. And that's where, things like what has gone on with Gamersgate is a problem. Where this has been going on for a long time is I remember probably 15 to 20 years ago, EGM writing about how companies were getting bad reviews for their games and then they're pulling advertisements. So in other words, what they started doing is that we're going to punish the gaming media outlets that don't give us high reviews. We're going to punish you by not giving you advertisements. So we're not going to do any financial funding. We expect you to work on our games. We expect you to, publish the press releases, to write the reviews, to play the games. We expect all this work out of you, but we're not going to actually, do any type of, financial funding back into you. So that has been going on for, like I said, probably at least 20 years in the video game industry. So it's like I said, this kind of concept of corruption in the industry has been going on way too long. So the whole Gamersgate, thing came about where there was a female indie game developer, and she gave adult-only privileges and adult-only acts to certain people at certain gaming media outlets, and those people at the gaming media outlets gave her high review scores. So again, it's more of the corruption and using certain things to try to bribe better scores out of your products. To get unrealistic responses for what your product actually is. Then they got in this whole about, kind of the far political left, far out in the political left, was out there, trying to promote, in essence, really, I hate to say it, but sexism is what they're trying to promote. They were saying, okay, we need to have more women making games, we need to have more women in the video game industry, we need more diversity, and so they said we need to fire men, so, be sexist against some men, and make them lose their jobs, so we can have more women, and the women can give their input for what they want. And they were trying to do that. That's kind of what they were trying to do after they had been bribed by this one female indie game developer. They were trying to, do this whole, hey, promote women, and, anybody who attacks her for what she did with her corruption is anti-woman, even though, everyone is like, no, we're pro-morals. Since you're anti-morals and you're, pro-corruption, we're anti-corruption. So, that's kind of what was going on with it. Now, we have done everything we can to walk this minefield and make points to PR marketing, make points to the video game company. We repeatedly point out that we treat them better than they treat us. We, do all of this work for them that makes them all this money, and they don't share. Now you're like, whoa, wouldn't it be corrupt if they started sharing with you? It could be, yeah, definitely. And we're not really that interested in them sharing financially with us. We're not, asking for that. We're trying to make the point and show kind of where the imbalance is, where the slant is. Here they have these, billionaire companies who have all this money, and then they're like, oh, we can't really advertise, or oh, it's not my job to advertise, it's not my department. Someone else handles that, and can't do anything to help you. But please do more for me. So the selfishness, as we talked about before. So when you get into, see, when I get into the Gamersgate topic, for me, it's really deep, and it goes into the deep-seated corruption in the video game industry. And what we've talked about before, how we want the corruption to stop and we want the corruption to get corrected. I mean, we've brought up all kinds of different ideas. One of the ideas I brought up in the past was when it comes to, say, reviewable copies of games. Every game and media outlet who's registered with the companies should be able to get a reviewable copy by paying for the game at cost. So if you know, whatever they're doing before they send it to the store, so let's say $25, $20, $30, whatever it is that they send to the store, and that's what, you know, the company is getting for it before it goes to the retails and goes to all the chains, and they all add their profits on top of it. They should go to the game and media and say, you know what, y'all can get it for this price. That way every game and media outlet has a little skin in the game. Because I can tell you from personal experience, when you're getting stuff for, you know, 9-10 years from companies, it can start to kind of change your mentality just a little bit. You know, you go, well, yeah, this product's okay, but would I really want to spend $60 on it? You have to sit there and ask that question. You have to have that question written down while the reviewer's writing their review and go, is it really worth $60? Or let's say it's a I don't know, like a gaming keyboard, for example. Is it really worth $130? Do you think this little tiny compact gaming keyboard that lights up is worth $130? You have to ask that question. Go, you know, I don't think it is. Maybe you think it is. You know, maybe you think it is worth that price. If you do, leave a comment below. You know, that's one of those things. We have different, you know, we can have different opinions, and that's what I've tried to explain to people. Reviews are opinions, and everyone comes into every review with their personal preferences and biases. You know, everyone does. Everyone has the different things they do. But when they're being influenced by an outside source, where they're getting some kind of a benefit from it, that's where the problem, you know, comes in. And let me tell you, I said the biggest problem, in my opinion, with Gamersgate, and what very few people even bothered to look at, is the video game companies have created this situation. They have created the atmosphere, and they're not going to stop. They're going to keep. They're going to get worse and worse and worse. You know, video game companies should never blacklist any gaming media outlet ever, in my opinion, unless, you know, they're taking bribes from someone to give them bad reviews. I don't know who would be paying for bad reviews, but if that happened, that would be
Rival companies would send
yeah, rival companies could be doing that. So you know, maybe Microsoft would pay IGN or pay Family Friendly Gaming.
NBA Live versus 2K basketball.
Yeah, the basketball series. So 2K Sports could, like, you know, say, hey, pay Family Friendly Gaming to go give the EA NBA Live a lower, or vice versa. EA could pay, you know, maybe E. And see, that's another thing. Another issue with, you know, Gamersgate is kind of the extra things they've gotten, like EA paying IGN employees to come out and see their game, and then they get a whole bunch of coverage on it. You know, so the EA is investing in that instance, investing in a game and media outlet to try to get more promotion of their product. And we all have to decide, you know, based on all the press releases come in, all the correspondence, what we're going to cover, what we're not going to cover. So, like I said, I disagree with that. We do everything we can to keep ourselves, you know, our hands clean as much as possible. We're far from perfect. I don't know of any instances where we have, you know, participated in that, you know, kind of Gamersgate corruption. We have been very vocal for, close to 13 years now about the corruption in the video game industry and wanting to see it addressed. And I really hope it does get cleaned up and corrected, and very, very soon. But a lot of the people who are in positions need to be removed. You need to move a lot of people out. You know, there needs to be, you know, a draining of the swamp to clean up the video game industry. So that's all the thoughts I have on this. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.